If you're a father and you're suffering from parental alienation, you need to know a couple things. First and foremost, you need to combat and stop this right away. And by stopping it, you need to stop it legally. In addition to that, your first line of defense in all of this is going to be to up your parenting time. But most importantly, your relationship with your child needs to be trusted, it needs to be good, and it needs to be something where that child isn't put through the stress of deciding between one parent or the other. This means you're not talking trash, you're not bringing up your court case to your child, you're not trying to sabotage the relationship by defending yourself of your relationship being sabotaged. That also means you're not trying to sabotage the relationship with your child and the mother just because it's happening to you. So how do we do all of this? And this is really important because when we get into this, we need to understand first that we need to up our parenting time through the courts. Now, whether the courts recognize parental alienation or not, we need to be able to get that parenting time. So whatever ways we can do that. We should be familiar with our judge. We should go down to the county courthouse. We should research cases. We should be hiring attorneys for consultations if we don't have one. And of course, if we have an attorney, which I highly recommend, this can get way out of hand if you don't, that attorney should be specialized in parental alienation or personality disorders. That means they've gone to court and been able to prove or disprove that these things are happening. Now that we understand that parenting time is the most important thing when we're combating parental alienation, we need to start going, how am I going to get it? How am I going to get it? And if I can get the judge to recognize that parental alienation is happening, I want that. Why? Because it's a form of abuse. So by any means possible, our goal is to get more parenting time. So if we are being trash talked by the mother, if we are being sabotaged in different ways, if different false claims are being enacted, we have more of a relationship with that child to work that over. Now, one thing that you need to know is the longer that parental alienation takes place, the worse it gets. And this is why it needs to be stopped right away. Meaning if we're away from our child for a month, 2 months, and that child is manipulated by the mother, we need to understand this is going to cause massive psychological abuse to that child, and there's less and less you can do about it. Meaning if you get a false protective order on you, which is common in these cases, your child is going to be worse and worse, get worse and worse, and you're going to be able to do nothing about it, which if you're watching this video, you probably already know how torturous that is. Hard to imagine, but it gets worse. Now, one of the things that I cover in a lot of my products that I have for you guys that you can work through on this is how do we make a parenting time list? Meaning, what is our role as a parent? Because this is essentially the foundation for getting custody. Meaning, if there was no conflict whatsoever, you would have to prove that you are an involved dad. You're capable of taking your child to school. You're capable of feeding that child. You're capable of taking that child to the doctor and these types of things. You need to know where you're at in that, and many dads might not be in a good place. So these are things that you might need to change, because this is how, if there was no conflict whatsoever, you would prove to a judge that you could be a parent to your child. This doesn't mean that you're going to get full custody. This doesn't mean that you're going to get 50-50 custody. This means that you would be a fit parent, and she could be a fit parent too. Now, if parental alienation is happening and the judge is not able to see that, here's what you got to do. You got to then go through all the dirty laundry of you and her. These are things that would take away parenting time. And you don't want to do this out of malice. You want to do this out of the best interest of the child. And this is where it gets confusing when you're being attacked in custody cases, where people get really immature and stupid. But you might need to be aggressive. In fact, I would highly recommend you are aggressive if you are being attacked, but not aggressive in a way where you're going to cause damage to that child. This is tricky. She's attacking you with parental alienation, and you are now trying to stop that. Now, in stopping that, like what happened in my case, this was happening actually in my case, and I stopped it with a bunch of dirty laundry on my ex. She lied over 100 times in a deposition, meaning she's discredited as a witness pretty much for life in any legal case. But in addition to that, she admitted to things which she may have not known are child abuse, but she admitted under oath to that. This means that she would lose parenting time immediately. This actually means she would get a protective order against her, and I really wouldn't wish that upon anybody. So I opted for the other thing. With having that leverage, what I did was say, hey, you have to be a good parent, but stop this crap. And if you don't stop this crap, you will go to jail, you'll have your kids taken away, and both of us know that would basically torment your life. So let's calm down. Let's calm down. Sign the papers. Let's calm down. So in this situation, that is what happened, and you might need to do that. Guys, if you're fighting parental alienation and this is happening to you and you're lost and you don't know what to do, I cannot recommend enough, urgently recommend enough, that you check out the links in my show notes. You look at the Rising Man community. In that community, what you're going to find is a group of men who meet regularly regularly. In fact, as I make this, it's Wednesday. Wednesday, we're going to have over 6 hours of calls for men going through this, and we're going to look through it. I'm going to help them look through it, but more importantly, guys in my group who've been through this, who've won it, who've beat it, who aren't just familiar with my case, but they've had their own cases, other men's cases, and we're going to help you through it. Whether you're going through pro se or you have an attorney, and I highly recommend getting an attorney in this, you're going to get the support you need. This is massive for you. I cannot recommend this enough. I cannot stress this enough. You need help. For the price of a couple $100, you're going to be able to save $10,000 minimum. That's the starting place on the national average of what divorces cost, and the guys that in our group of what they pay, that's how much they save. And if you're dealing with parental alienation or some sort of false allegations, you're going to save more like $50,000 because those cases start at 60. Stay alive, stay out of jail, stay a father, and this is how we gain strength in our culture. Thank you so much for watching. Keep fighting the dad fight.